Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review series. This is episode 150 in the series. Titus O'Neil basically is making fun of the various people that have supported him in the past, makes fun of the fans, gets up in Percy Watson's face, tells Percy to turn on the fans too, and ultimately there are issues there. Matt Striker comes out and basically says that, in fact, Watson should face off against O'Neil later today. Both guys are in business suits, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. Also, we see Rex and Hawkins basically implying to Stryker that he hasn't given them fair opportunities. That ultimately leads to them being promised tag team matches later in the not too distant future here, and ultimately we see um, the Usos against Rex and Hawkins up next. Usos have been on a roll and repeatedly throughout the last little while have been called the best tag team in wrestling at the moment. Double elbow drops, double teams, double headbutts, and the like. Usos are in solid control. Continuing throughout the venture of things, Rex comes in, uses a bit more power. I would say he has the power advantage. Hawkins has the speed advantage and maybe a little more technical prowess. So they're a good team. Cut off on the ring on one of the Usos by Rex and Hawkins. They continue to fight as aggressively as they can, including but not limited to using reverse chin locks and other basic holds. Fight up from underneath. Hawkins comes back in, tries to cross body, doesn't get everything he wants on that. Also tries to shoot a near fall and doesn't get what he wants on that either. Usos eventually get the victory and toss their opponents to the outside, and we are about a third of the way through the program. Derek Bateman is coming along, and there is flirtation between Caitlyn and Bateman now that they are kind of involved in some sort of quasi almost romance storyline, but it's not really something to write home about. And Caitlyn is showing her interest in Bateman, but it's not complete. Heath Slater comes out, who has been here over the last little while, and Trent Beretta is his opponent for the day. Beretta back and forth as a babyface, still a babyface, hearing back elbows and basic things. Takes him down. Slater is a bumping machine and actually probably one of the guys who was taken for granted when he was employed by WWE. Might not have had the most easy charisma, but there's an awkward charisma to him that I think needs a little bit more credit than it was given. Step up elbow, among other things, by Beretta. Beretta goes to the top rope and tries to get an advantage as quick as he can. He manages to come up and the power slam off the top rope by Heath Slater, who manages to do exactly that, is ultimately where we need to go. Breakups from the or issues from the wedding prior is highlighted of course, from last week. Johnny Curtis comes out and basically takes very little credit. Maxine says that she is dissatisfied with what's happened here and walks away with Derek Bateman. They've rekindled their romance, but it's on rocky ground to say the very least. Needless to say, that is a build of the storyline going forward. Percy Watson and Alex Riley are discussing things in the back. Riley again in a suit. I don't know why all these NXT people are in suits, but it's here and it's pretty consistent. Titus O'Neil as a heel is new and has been for the better part of a year, if not longer, a babyface and a pretty strong one at that. So the turn did kind of make sense. O'Neil and Watson, I believe in real life, are pretty good friends, and so it makes sense for them to have a mini feud because sometimes working with your friend can bring the best out in you. Um, Obviously, O'Neil manages to use power, sends his man over the top rope, is more aggressive as a heel, but doesn't really have heel mannerisms down quite yet. Uses power as he pops up, cranks up on a chin lock, which in a 5-minute match doesn't really make sense. Why are we doing, you know, rest related spots when you're in a main event position on a program and only doing short matches? Anyway, It's hard for Percy Watson to follow up. He does hit the flip splash, and eventually O'Neal gets cast to the outside of the ring, and um, but that is done at the hands of Alex Riley. Riley seems to be a regular component to this program now, and that is that. We'll be back with more right after this.